Frankly, I don't want to hear it was a joke.
No.
Timothy's brought it back up that night, and it's triggered you.
Tim's not the one to blame here.
Jack,
I need to learn from this also.
Yes.
Let me speak, my
Yeah,
friend.
sorry, that's all just...
I question this Sarah debacle and its timing, the time it has come up. To me, it seems as though it's sort of a diversion from Jack because the producers like the mess and the toxicity that Jack brings to the show. But anyway, for Sarah is her own worst enemy. She's her own worst enemy. I wish she had apologized. I really do. And the audacity of Jack to give someone a voucher for a supplement store after calling them a whale. Anyway, I won't say anything. And poor Timothy. I really feel sorry for Timothy. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 11, Episode 24. Oh, Ridge, I never thought Ridge would make this transformation. I questioned the character or the persona that we were being shown just because he is a healthcare professional. So I would assume he would behave, in a certain, or he would have some sort of decorum at work, but I didn't think he would be able to sort of have that in his personal life. Yeah, he does have his moments where he sort of plays up and he acts out and he says these, comments, but most of the time he is himself. He is very well behaved, he's very emotional, he's very empathetic, and then he'll throw in one or two. I think when he becomes uncomfortable, this is when he brings out his sort of goofy side. So apparently he met Jade's daughter and he was very happy about that because he's already revealed that his mom had a daughter before she married his dad. So he's grown up with a half sister and he's watched his dad raise his sister as his own child. So it was important to Jade for her to meet her daughter to meet Ridge and sort of see how they got along. I think the daughter will love Ridge because of his childish and sort of goofy side. I think she will love that. And he comes across as a very caring man and has minded his own business, including when, Jack tried to include him in his business and he told them that, no, your comment was inappropriate and leave me out of it, my name in it. And then you have Timothy and Lucinda. They're in a happy place. They're in a happy place because Timothy came to acceptance, or he had a breakthrough at the retreat. So that was good because they were able to work on their own issues and try as much as possible to mind their business, although Timothy has become one of the Charlie's Angels. And so he then brought up the issue about Tristan, and it is worrying. Everybody's worried about Tristan because anyone who struggled, everybody has a part of their body they don't like. No one can say, I love my body 100%. No, there's always something you're going to pick. Oh, I hate my belly, I hate my ears, I hate my lips. So for Jack, as a personal trainer, to make that comment, that was insensitive, very insensitive, because you'd assume his job is to empower people and to help them feel good about themselves, not to bring them down, even if it's banter, that's inappropriate banter. And he really is going to need to do a lot of work and sort of to redeem himself. The conversation about Tristan, seeing him have a conversation with Cassandra. Tristan is struggling. He really is struggling. I think the pressure of the experiment plus his body image issues is what is making him struggle to sort of move on. They were doing great with Cassandra. They were in a very good place. And now he's back to square one because of the comments that somebody made. And to me, it's really sad that the person who made the comments doesn't take ownership of their faults or their shortcomings and doesn't take accountability for it, because Cassandra is sort of upset. She is right to be upset that her husband feels some type of way because it's more or less bullying. No matter how many times Jack tries to say it's banter, it is not banter. When you call someone out of their name, knowing that this is a trigger point or this is a sore point, it is not banter. He has beef with Timothy. If he had beef with Timothy, he should have called out Timothy and said, you the whaler out. But he said that knowing Timothy was there with someone who has body image issues that have been documented, that have been vocalized. He said this countless times in the commitment ceremony. So I don't know how, even when you go to Jack, he's sort of saying, oh, it was just banter. It's not banter. And Lauren has picked it up. She is now holding the mantle and her goal is to hold Jack's feet to the fire. And you can tell I don't think none of the guys like Jack. I think they tolerate him because they're on the show, but I don't think they like him as a person because of the way Jono's behaving. Even people like Jaden had to say, give him a chance to talk when people were holding his feet to the fire because he wanted to sort of see if his friend could redeem himself. And I think the more he talks, the worse he makes things for himself. Even Tori said that. The more he talks, the worse he makes things the worse things get for him. And for him to be telling his wife that, oh, the people who are bringing it up. And it's like, you said that at the retreat. Change your course. Don't try and be empathetic now. It's too late because this is going to affect your income. Take responsibility. Apologize sincerely, not only to Tristan and Timothy, but to everybody in the group and everybody that's watched. Will it redeem you? I don't think so because it was a bit too much. It sort of goes against what you stand for. It's more or less like having Reach criticize people's mental health problems. That is against what he stands for. That is against his profession. He can't do that. And yet you felt comfortable enough to do that. I don't get it. You have Sarah and Tim sort of having a conversation about, the retreat and how good they're doing. And here they are. I remember saying I don't understand the sudden turnaround with Timothy and Sarah. I normally call him Timothy. I'm sorry. I remember saying I don't understand the sudden turnaround with Tim and Sarah because it seemed like out of the blue she just changed after a commitment ceremony where the experts had a go at her. I think, yes, she might have been dating her ex, or she might have been talking to her ex, or she might have been, I don't know, seeing him. But I think it's a bit convenient that this came up when everybody was angry at Jack. It's sort of as though the producers wanted to divert attention from Jack. So they thought, okay, let's play it up. Let's send it to someone we know or someone we know has been cheated on and will have a negative reaction to this. And so once that was done, I think they told her to sit on it and they wanted to see what other drama came out at the retreat. They didn't expect any drama. So when they had the drama with Jack, they decided to use it as a diversion, and this is why it's suddenly playing out and it's now center stage and they're making more of a bigger deal, having the camera go down a corridor with this creepy music playing. They didn't do that for Jack. So why suddenly are we having such a big deal about the Sarah cheating scandal? Make that make sense? I think the producers are milking it. There's no need to make such a big deal. Jack has done a lot worse, and yet they're milking this cheating scandal for everything. It's worth the creepy music, the fact that we always have to have, this, daunting, this doom looming, and sort of, I don't know, I've had people cheat on me. We've heard it, Jaden and Eden. Please move on. We don't want to hear it anymore. Just tell her. If she doesn't take responsibility, that's it. If Tim wants to stay with her, that's it. We don't need to hear any more of this cheating scandal. They're making it bigger than it actually is. Did she sleep with him? Did she make out with him? Why did she meet him? Was she meeting him to give him the rest of his stuff because she's found someone and she's ready to move on? What is it? Don't make a big deal out of nothing. They're trying to divert attention away from Jack. That's my opinion. Anyway, you have Sarah and Tim be the first to arrive. They're in a happy place. They're so giddy and so happy, and you get this feedback or this continuous loop of Eden and Jaden talking about she met her boyfriend, or cheating is bad, or this, and it's like, what else did she say that makes you think she cheated? There's so many reasons she could have met up with him. Please don't irritate us. I was indifferent to the two of you as a couple, but now you're getting on my nerves. I'm sorry. You're making too much out of this. You didn't make a big deal about Jack and his comments, and yet you're making such a big deal about the cheating scandal because your exes have cheated on you. Hey, to each their own. You have Lucinda and Tim arrive. They are in a happy place. They are very happy. They are very giddy, and they're, just happy to be there. And you can actually see that they are in the best place they've been since they entered the experiment. Even they themselves actually mentioned that, this is the best we've been since we joined the experiment. We are very open. We are very, caring towards one another and empathetic. So it is good to see them in a happy place. And even the experts are surprised that they're doing so well. So next to come in is Lauren and Jono. They seem to be in a good place. It is what it is. And then you have Tristan and Cassandra come in. And obviously Tristan is still reeling from Jack's comments. And everybody knows about it. And everybody's upset because Tristan has owned up to his body image insecurities on the couch, so everybody knows. And the fact that Jack is a personal trainer, even the experts were taken aback, because they're like, how could he say that when he's a personal trainer? It doesn't make sense. That is not banter. That is, degrading and sort of trying to break down someone and demoralizing for a fact. Anyway, you then have them sort of have this conversation, and in his confessional, Timothy is breaking down because Timothy really loves Tristan. They've created such a strong bond with Tristan, and he sort of calls them mama and papa. So for him, he's taking it personally, because I think these are now his family members that he's managed to find for himself, Timothy. And so he's very protective, especially of Tristan, and it seems the whole group are very protective. Jack is sort of in the car saying, oh, if they sit me next to Lauren, I'm going home. And it's like, what is it about Lauren that you don't like? The fact that she's got the cojones and she's able to stand up to you. She's not talking about being an alpha male. She actually displays that she's an alpha female, and she can defend herself, whether or not her husband has her back. This is what annoys him, because Tori was saying she's an alpha female, and I think he expected someone like Lauren, and yet they didn't match him with someone like that. So for him, the idea that Lauren doesn't back down and is able to stand up to him and is not intimidated is the reason why he doesn't want to sit next to her, in my opinion. You could cut the tension with the knife when Tori and Jack walked in. You could tell people didn't want them there. The reactions, it was quiet. And for Jack, it's a bit rich for him to say, oh, I just, want there to be peace. I'm tired. People just need to have a conversation and just carry on as normal. They don't need to be any drama. And it's like, well, if you knew that you didn't want any drama, then maybe you should have stopped being at the center of the drama. You should try and sort of change your ways, and you wouldn't be involved in any of the mess. You'd just be sitting in the back eating popcorn and watching everything go on around you. But you've decided to be the Bronte and the Harrison of this season, so hey, let's go. You have Jade and Ridge arrive. They are in a very good place. They are very happy. They're busking off the meeting, the family meetup, in the sense that Ridge got to meet Jade's daughter, and he really appreciates that and is very happy. And he's sort of, saying that I didn't plan on going. I wasn't going to force her to say, I want to meet your daughter. I was just waiting to see what she would do. And then she invited me, and I was happy to go along and sort of meet her daughter. And it went very well. I really liked her daughter. And it's like, oh, Ridge is becoming a big boy in our eyes. Am I the only one to see Michael and Stephen arrive? What are they doing there? What are they still doing there? They've told us that there is no chance that there will ever be anything romantic between the two of them. So why are we wasting people's time sort of keeping them there? Is it because the apartment is paid for, or is it because we want a token gay couple on the show? Producers, what is it? Make it make sense, because the math ain't mathing. Even the experts actually say, oh, they look like two friends that have just walked into a bar, and that's how they look. That's how they look. We can all see that. There's no room to fake anything. And then you have Andy. She comes in on her own, and everybody's terrified. Like, what the hell? What happened? And I was scared for a minute, because I'd commented in my comments that I'm surprised that we didn't get to see much of them during the retreat. I don't know whether it's because they were too good and the producers were looking for drama, and so they went with the dramatic, couples, or whether, it was just he was feeling unwell. So it seems he's feeling unwell, and they've decided to isolate him, maybe because she said she would check on him after. And so if they're in the same place, she wouldn't need to go and check on him, I would assume. And so you still have Eden and Jaden. They're the last couple to arrive. And it's like, can we hear any more about this cheating scandal? It's getting old. It really is. They've really milked it for 22 minutes for all it's worth. They milked it for the whole second half of yesterday's episode. It's not necessary. The way Eden is carrying on when they walk in with Jaden, it's as though Sarah cheated on the two of them. They're projecting their own, trauma from when their partners cheated on them. I'm not saying I approve of what Sarah did, but I think they're over dramatizing it. Anyway, immediately, as soon as they come in, the producers decide to call that dinner's served, and so everyone goes to dinner. And then you have, it's the audacity, for me, it's the audacity that someone actually has the nerve to think that what they're doing is right. I think Tori and Jack are coming up with damage control sort of PR stunts when when they know that they've done a boo-boo. So they want to be at the forefront of the show. They want to be the couple that's talked about the most on the show. And so they're going to do these controversial things. And then once they've done it, they go home, they sit down, they come up with a little plan like they did with her friend, and Jack, bought her chocolates. And it's like, you're a personal trainer. Of all the stuff you could have got her, you bought her a box of chocolates. And he's done exactly the same thing with Tristan. He called Tristan for a chat and he had Timothy sit there. I give credit to Timothy because Timothy didn't say anything. He just let Tristan sit there and sort of react to whatever crap Jack was dishing out. He bought him a gift card for the supplement store and bought him a gold chain that says you are enough. And it's like, it's the audacity, the fact that you say you're a personal trainer. This was more about him sort of trying to revamp himself and sort of make himself good. It wasn't about hearing Tristan. He didn't allow Tristan to speak his mind. He didn't allow Tristan to say how much damage that had caused him, because Jack was in damage control and anything Tristan could have said could have damaged him further. So he decided to sort of shut it down. And because Tristan is very gullible and very naive, in my opinion, it's coming across that way. And I think this is one of the things that sort of Kaz wants, is someone who's honest and is very understanding. And because he was honest and very understanding, he took it for what it was at face value. But Timothy could see the BS. He could see it. He could see through it. And I'm surprised he didn't say anything. I give him credit for not saying anything. I think because he didn't want things to sort of upset Tristan any further. And the fact that he tried to play it out as though it was Timothy's fault that Tristan felt some type of way because Timothy brought it back up, and it's like, nah, you made the comment. Don't blame anyone else for your shortcomings. And he has a habit of doing this, and the experts are not having this. I can't wait for the couch. I can't wait for the commitment ceremony. So you have Tristan receive this pendant or whatever gold bar that he received from Jack and the gift voucher, and they come back to the table and people are curious because Timothy has managed to carry himself and not make it about himself but allow Tristan to express himself. And because Tristan was happy, he was happy, but he wasn't happy at the same time. They sat down and Lauren had to bring it up. So what happened? And he told everyone, oh, he gave me a supplement to go to the supplement store, and everybody's faces fell because they're like, the audacity, someone who's got body image issues. Instead of you just giving him an apology and ending at that, you decided to make things worse to show him that, yes, you are fat, you need supplements. And for you to say, okay, yeah, I'll go with you and I'll show you what to choose. It's like, nah. And then you have Jack now, oh, Lauren, it has nothing to do with you. I felt really bad. I didn't even sleep. It's not about you, buddy. It's not about you. It's about the person you insulted. So please, remember that your opinion and how you felt has nothing to do with the situation. You should have apologized. And I give credit to everyone on the table because they said, we want to hear what he said. What did he say? And Tristan is still on this high that, yes, things are great. We've made up. He's apologized. Even the experts are fuming. They were embarrassed, they were disgusted, they were angry, they were upset. And everybody, even the viewers, I assume, are feeling the same way because we all can't understand how Tristan doesn't see this for what it is. It's an insult. It's an insult to his intelligence. The fact that you have someone who's a personal trainer and has decided that if I give you a gold chain and every time you look at it, you'll feel good about yourself, or if I give you supplements, you'll feel good about yourself. No, you're just making things worse. You're making things worse. He should have come with a heartfelt apology and ended at that. He didn't need to bring gifts. That's just my opinion. And Lauren said, I'm not being bought off by his hush money. And it's like, I'm here for Lauren. Lauren is always going to speak her truth, whether or not it's acceptable or not. Hey, it is what it is. I don't know who made Jaden and Eden the moral police. I think they are projecting their insecurities. I think their sort of weakest point is cheating. And so because they've been cheated on, they now judge everyone according to what they've been through. And it doesn't matter whether anything happened or not, they were still going to treat it with the most extreme sort of reaction, in my opinion, because they pull Sarah and Tim aside to have a conversation. And Tim is in the best place he's been in a long time. And they start talking to Sarah, sort of saying, I felt it was patronizing the way they said, if you better tell Tim, otherwise we're going to tell him. No, they should have come across better. I think the delivery should have been better. That way, Sarah would not have been as combative as she was. I think they should have pulled Sarah aside first and sort of had a conversation with her and then told her that we're going to tell Tim what happened because this is where we are as a couple. We cannot continue to keep your secret and we want you to own up to him or we're going to tell him. And then they should have sat down with Tim and or allowed Sarah to sit down with Tim on her own, have a conversation, and then afterwards, the four of them would have sat down and had a conversation. I think the way they came at it was wrong. I give Tim a lot of credit for keeping quiet because I am like Tim. When I'm very, very upset, if you push me past a certain point, I am like a computer. I shut down. I reboot, I reassess, and then when I come back up, we're ready to go. I'm not a reactive person, or I've moved away from being reactive as much as I can. And I think this is who Tim is. I feel like Sarah was very wrong. I feel like once this started, she should have immediately sort of apologized to her husband, first of all, for not being honest with him, because now you had this scenario sort of playing up with Tim, whereby he's thinking, she told me she never got over an ex. She's refused to go out on dates. She's refused with her phone. So has she been communicating with this person all along? And I've been killing myself to be the best man that she wants me to be. That's the position I think he's in, because even when the producers tried to speak to him, he just said he's broken because he's tried so hard to be the person that she wanted, and yet he was never going to win. He was fighting a ghost, more or less. And so for Eden and Jaden to then come back to the table and to tell everyone else and, start holding Sarah's feet to the fire as soon as she comes back, I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. And Sarah is not doing herself any favors. And you can see Jack and sort of Tori trying to smile because now this takes the pressure away from them and focuses the attention on Sarah because this is very negative. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Sarah is wrong for cheating on Tim, don't get me wrong, but I suddenly I didn't like Jaden the way he handled the Lucinda and Timothy situation, and I dislike him even more for the way he's handled the, Sarah and Tim situation, because they've made it, him and Eden have made it more about themselves because of the way they kept asking her questions, and then if she gave a wrong answer, then they would, we have text messages, you said this, because she tried to make out, she took the weekend off. I understand when the ex-boyfriend was down, there, and she spent time with him, and she told him she was going to dog sit, and so then she tried to use that as an excuse. Well, on Friday I was dog sitting. Oh no, we know it. You didn't. You weren't dog sitting. You told Eden you weren't. You lied to Tim that you were dog sitting. You were not dog sitting, so you're with him all the time. And she's struggling. And I don't know why I'm sorry is a very difficult word for people to say, because you have Jack. He had problems saying I'm sorry. He came up with this stupid plan of his, and then you have Sarah, she's struggling to say I'm sorry, and the audacity and the hypocrisy for Jack to say, oh Sarah, tell the truth. Please, sir, sit down and keep quiet. This has nothing to do with you. This has absolutely nothing to do with you. So we need you to sit down and keep quiet, and we will talk to somebody else, because this has nothing to do with you. Timothy is on his own. He's struggling. You have, Sarah, eventually, she realized she was struggling, because even Andrea told her, you need to write leave because there's no need for you to stay. You have Cassie saying, she was playing Tim. And even you have Jaden saying, oh, this is why you refused with your phone. This is why you're refusing to go on dates. Yeah, that makes sense. But please keep quiet. This has nothing to do with you. This is more about Timothy. Anyway, you have Tim eventually come to the table to have a conversation with the group, and they all sort of give him hugs and give him an opportunity to speak up for himself. Sarah is her own worst enemy, in my opinion, in the sense that she's been trying to hold people to account. She's been trying to be the moral police, and now her house is starting to crack and she has nowhere to hide. I feel like she was over-exaggerating other people's drama so that people wouldn't look at her and focus and see exactly what was going on with her and Tim. And she was playing up to Tim because she knew he really liked her and he would take whatever she was willing to dish to him. And so the idea that suddenly she's been exposed, she can't sort of hold herself to account. She can't apologize to anyone because she came back to the table because she tried to pull Tim away. I think she thought she could manipulate him and he refused to stand up, so she had to come to the table and you had people like Jaden trying to hold her to account. Everyone was there, and because of her actions in the past, there's no way for her to sort of escape and sort of come out looking good at any point, because she has played her husband. She has refused to spend time with him. She's refused to film with him at certain times because she's whatever she was doing, only she knows. She's refused to show her phone. She's refused to go on dates. I think she didn't want to develop feelings for him because she knew she still was stuck on her ex. And sadly, her house of cards is crumbled, and she still didn't apologize. She became combative at one point, and the experts, I think, are really going to hold her feet to the fire on Sunday. I can't really wait to see what happens, but for the likes of Tori and Jack, they need to keep quiet. They have their own drama. They have their own issues. They don't need to involve themselves in other people's mess, and they don't need to try and sort of be the, oh, we're better than you police, because at this point, they are so tarnished. They're just as bad as Sarah. The only difference is Sarah has cheated on one person, whereas they have been sort of in battles with everybody else in the group because of different things. Yes, other people are projecting their own sort of hurt from the when they were cheated on, case in point Jaden and Eden, but I think Sarah, her main sort of issue is the fact that she's upset her partner. She's betrayed his trust, and she's broken him because he really was in love with her, or he was growing in love and thought they were in love and was doing everything to win her, and sadly things didn't pan out. I can't wait for tomorrow, for Sunday anyway. There's no episode tomorrow. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 23. Bye guys.